I have not been here in probably over 15 years. Me and my wife used to start dating, but now we get to bring our kids to the mystery spot here in Santa Cruz, California. Where did they go?
About 11 degrees in the courtyard and 17 degrees inside the cabin. Behind you can see this one that you're out on this line. Straight up the fall, and then this one inside, so we're at 3-degree lean. See what I'm talking about? And then this one on the border kind of started to go straight up the fall, and started to keep it a little bit of that lean, and started to go straight up the fall again. Almost like it wasn't there. What I wanted. $5 for parking that bill.
All right, one moment, everyone.
Good?
Now, show of hands, have any of you guys been here before? Yes. How long's it been for you?
Like 13 years.
13 years. How long's it been for you?
5 years.
5 years. Anybody else? How long's it been for you?
I would say about maybe 18 years.
Okay, well, you guys, sorry to say, nothing has changed. The rest of you guys,
I hope so.
prepare to get mystified. So we're going to start off with a little bit of history behind the mystery. So in 1939, a man named George Prather decided that he wanted to buy that flat piece of land where all of your cars are currently parked. Now, at the time, that piece of land was owned by a lumber company, and they would only agree to sell him that piece of land, with this hillside right here included. Now, George Prather didn't realize that the lumber company had their reasoning for selling him this hillside for such a cheap price. Now, the lumber company had deemed this hillside right here entirely useless, because any structure that was previously built up there had fallen right off of its foundation, slid down the hill, and crumbled into pieces. Now, George Prather bought the land, and after he purchased it, he sent a team of surveyors right up this hillside to investigate. Now, as they were making their way up this hillside right here, there were a few different strange things that were starting to happen. Now, the first thing that they noticed was that as they were making their way up this hill right here, their compasses were starting to give them strange readings. And at first, they were only off by a few degrees, but as they made their way farther up the hill, their compasses went off by an entire 180 degrees, which made north-south and east-west. Now, they also realized, as they made their way up this hill, they started to feel some strange force that was starting to push down on them, which made it harder for them to walk up than it would have normally been. And as they got to the top, they also got very winded when they felt they shouldn't have. Now, they realized that all of these strange effects were occurring within the 150-foot in diameter circle, which the borders of the circle go right through the two cement blocks, up this hill, around the cabin up there, down this hillside, through these two trees, and right back to here. Now, these two cement blocks right here were originally placed here as a flat enough reference point for the scientists that were conducting research at the time. But these trees right here grew, and underneath the roots came up and offset and self-surfaced. So we here at the mystery spot were able to think of a highly technical solution. We like to call them 2x4s. Now, we took the 2x4s and we shaved them down on the ends in order to make them flat on the uneven surface. And I can prove to you guys that these 2x4s are flat using this level here. So does everyone know how a level works?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll take the level here and I'll place it on this board here. And now, can I get a volunteer to come up to tell me where this bubble is? Anybody?
I can see it from here.
You want to go ahead and look in the top window here just for confirmation?
At the top. It's right in the middle.
It's right in the middle, right? So, there's a few ways that I could rig this level. Now, the first way is that I could freeze this liquid inside in order to make the bubble stay in one place. But as you guys can see, it's moving around freely. Now, another way that I could rig this level is by shaving down an end of it in order to make it flat on an uneven surface. But I'll flip it around and place it on the same spot, and you guys will see. If you come up once more and look at the top window, it's still in the middle, right? So can I have you come up once more and go ahead and put one foot on each board right here for me? Now, can I get somebody around his height to volunteer to come up? Anybody want? Do you want to come up?
I can.
Right, one foot on each side. And you will see that your eye line rests right about to his nose, right? So I'll have you guys go ahead and switch places for me. As I switch for you, you'll see that you got even shorter, and now your eye line rests all the way down here to his chin, and I'm sorry for you. As we do not offer high change refunds in the gift shop, everyone gives them a round of applause. Now, does anybody else want to give this a try?
I'm already short enough.
This tree right here is standing just outside of the mystery spot, and it's standing perfectly up straight, just like any other regular tree. But this tree right here is standing just inside of the mystery spot, and it's standing at that same exact degree lean that I am when I'm standing here. Now, when we make our way up that hill and into that cabin up there, we are all going to experience the full peak of a 17-degree lean, as displayed in this photo here from the 1948 Life magazine. Now, the interesting thing about this photo is not actually their lean, or the fact that the guy's pants are way too high. It's actually about the woman's name. Because her name. Eileen.
But
Yeah, this is an $8 tour. You guys get a lot of $8 jokes. But I promise they're all uphill from here, so everyone follow me. But not to worry because this fish go away in 3 to 4 weeks. So as we make our way inside, just stay along the fence line. You guys can just try to go against the back. So now that we've made it inside the courtyard here, does anybody notice something strange about me? I'm slanted, right? So in this courtyard here, we're standing at about an 11-degree lean, but can I ask you guys to put your feet together and point them down the sill for me? So, if you guys go ahead and take a look down, this is a favorite for some of the older men, because some of you might be looking down and seeing your toes for the first time since college. So if you guys go and turn around and put your feet back together. You guys look back down. You guys can see that your feet have now disappeared right beneath you.
But I can
now
still see it.
the next part, I'll get take hold of your hands and slowly place them behind your back. Now, does everyone feel that? Because what you guys are feeling is, in fact, the spirit of Michael Jackson. If you guys didn't like that joke, you can just beat it. About the history of this cabin here. So this cabin was built about 81 years ago. But it wasn't actually built here. Now, the cabin was built about 20 feet
folks, this
up
is
that
that
hillside.
2-minute warning. So last couple
Due to a storm in 1940, this cabin came sliding down the hill and stopped right here. Now, this is actually the only structure that ever stopped sliding on its way down this hillside. So can any of you give me a guess on why it might have stopped sliding here? Because the tree. Because the tree? You guys are exactly wrong. So, that tree right there is about 50 years old. Now, as I mentioned before, the cabin's actually about 81 years old, which means that the tree was not there to stop it in its tracks.
Probably because it's so it's just stapled in place.
Stapled in place? I mean, I'd say it's still pretty slanted here, but now, also, this land used to be owned by a lumber company, which meant that at the time, all the trees were cut down, which meant there were no trees to stop the cabin in its tracks. Now, what was there? It's the center of the mystery spot. So as the cabin came sliding right down this hill right here, it's got the center, which caused it not moving anywhere else. That being said, I'm about to bring out a tool to demonstrate these forces here, but as I do, I need everybody's help. I'll need it nice and loud. Ooh, followed. Playing even louder. Ah. Okay, so. Back to this once. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh. Ah.
Okay, now just the ladies. Ooh. Ah. Next the guys.
Ooh. Ah.
Okay, now just you. Ah. Okay, I think we're ready, guys. So I'm gonna bring out the 1. one.
Alrighty, folks. Let's keep
The only.
y'all are gonna take your last couple.
The world famous.
Guys, while we are wrapping things up,
Piece of wood. And the crowd goes.
Ooh. Ah.
I know. This looks like a boring piece of wood from Home Depot. Wrong. We bought it from Lowe's. So I'm going to take this board and place it right back inside of the cabin. And now, for a show of hands, who thinks that that end of the board right there is the higher end?
You can also do the Titanic one.
Nobody? Who thinks the board is flat? Okay. And then who thinks that that end in there is higher? Okay, well I'll take my level here and I will place it on the board, and as you guys will see, this bubble goes almost in the middle, but it's actually going that way a tiny bit, which means that is in fact the slightly higher end of the board, even if it doesn't look like it. Or, no, sorry, it does look like it. I got my head mixed up for a different demonstration. So now, that means that if I take my billiard ball here and I place it on the board, it should slowly roll down that way, right? So I'll take it and I'll place it on the board here, and as you guys can see, the ball is getting pushed away from the center of the mystery spot.
That's really
And I can even take this ball and I can give it a push going inside of the cabin here. You guys will see the ball stop, start to get pushed right back out.
Ooh. Wow.
So now a lot of people start to think that this ball must be rigged, and that somehow there must be a tiny little magnet or a tiny little motor inside of there. But guys, just take a second to think. If I knew how to do any of this sort, I probably wouldn't be a tour guide of the mystery spot. But still, I can take the ball and place it right back inside of my pocket here, and I can take out my bottle of water and I can pour it onto the board. And as it slowly rises up, we will see that all of the water is still pushed right back outside of the cabin here. Now I can go ahead and pour it on a little bit more here. And at this point, a lot of people start to think that this board must be rigged, and that somehow this groove must be cut in a way that is forcing the water and the ball back out. But I'll take the board and I'll flip it around and place it in the same spot. Now I'll take my bottle once more. Go ahead and pour the water onto the board, and just wait a moment as it builds up, and you guys will see that all of the water is still pushed right back outside of the cabin. So now, with that being said, we are about to head inside of this cabin here, but before we do, I'm going to ask that everyone saves taking photos or roaming about the cabin until after I show a few demonstrations in the first and second room. So as we go ahead and make our way inside, we stay along the walls in this first room. Alright, so now that we've just about made it inside of the first room of the cabin here, we're all standing at that 17-degree lean that I mentioned earlier. Now when you get some free time, you can go ahead and make your way up onto the table here and stand out at the very end. When your lead becomes very defined, it becomes a great place to take a photo or do any of your favorite poses, such as Rose from Titanic. If you come on the table though, make sure that you don't jump off, because if you do, you probably won't land where you think, and you most likely end up slipping and sliding right underneath the table there.
I'm being pushed down, help me.
In case that does happen, we do have video cameras and we'll make some great YouTube footage. Now, if you make your way over to these handlebars right here, you can go ahead and hang on to them, and you will see that you hang at the same 17-degree lean that everybody else is standing at. Now, if you make your way inside of the second room for me.
Yep. That's why I hold on to the rail. Go, Bubs.
It's just someone doing it. Just
Alright, so now we've just about made it inside of the second room of the cabin here. I'm going to direct everyone's attention to this pendulum. So this pendulum is made out of 32 pounds of pure lead. Now it's made out of lead, so it can't be magnetized, but if you take this ball and you give it a push going this way, this ball starts to get very hard to push. Now if you take this ball and you give it a push going this way, this ball is very easy to push. Now if you make your way over to this platform right here, it's standing at a different angle from the rest of the cabin, but if I stand on it, then I'm still standing at the same 17-degree lean as everybody else. Make your way over to this ladder, or rather staircase. You can go ahead and walk up it very easily without using any hands, and you can also grab onto the handlebar if you need to. So now, with that being said, you guys are just about free to go, but you can make your way out to that second courtyard if you're feeling a little bit dizzy or nauseous. And that is where we're going to continue our tour, and also I'll give you guys all a 2-minute warning. We should all start heading out there, but with that being said, you guys are good to go.
Okay.
You guys can just go on the table or do anything
Did
that
you want to hold on
to.
to this?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I just need you to take.
Chippy hubbubs.
Yeah?
Can you push that, Noah?
Okay, it's
Heavy? Now the other way. Easy?
careful.
Which is it, Noah?
So.
Is it hard that way?
I feel like it's. I don't think it's any easier.
It's the same?
Man, I forgot how this throws off your equilibrium and all that.
Just squat down, Gabe.
Woo!
I'm gonna go. So this is like the rectangle.
Yep.
My legs.
So now you get to be Michael Jackson.
When I'm the correct degrees.
And look at me, I'm leaning forward.
You guys can see, oh, that spot. You guys see the ball does in fact roll downhill. Gravity. If I get up on this bench here, everyone pay attention to what seems to happen as I start to walk uphill. I seem to get shorter, right? And as I walk downhill, I seem to get more handsome. Work on it. Now, a lot of people start to think that this is an optical illusion that's being caused by the brick line right here, because as I'm walking uphill, I'm getting farther away from it, which makes it look like I'm getting shorter. And as I'm walking downhill, I'm getting closer to it, which makes it look like I'm getting taller. But I can disprove this theory by asking for few volunteers. Sorry. Now, is anybody here 5'5"?
I'm 5'6".
5'4". 5'5" on a good day.
Is anybody 5'5" exactly? Do you guys think we could do it louder than that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? 1, 2, 3.
Ooh!
Ah! All right. So nobody 5'5" exactly. 5'4", I heard.
5'4".
You want to come up? Let's go ahead and stand
Sure,
in the
let's go.
middle of the bench and face out towards the audience. Now, is anybody 5'3"?
Mm-mm.
Chelsea's 5'3".
Chelsea, you 5'3".
No, I'm 5'1". Oh,
Ah.
Is anybody 5'3"? Anybody? How tall are you?
5'6".
He's not
5'6".
5'6".
5'5"? By any chance?
About there.
Do you want to come up?
Go ahead, Gibbs.
Go ahead and stand. So you scoot down a little bit and you stand right there. You face out. Now, is anybody 5'6"? You want to come up? Go ahead and stand.
Eso me suena.
Right over there. Face out towards the audience. You guys can scoot down a little bit. And then, is anybody 5'7"? You want to come up? Go and stand at the very end. Now, is anybody 5'8"?
my boy over there is 5'9".
5'9".
5'8", anybody?
Going once.
Going twice? Alright. So, this might actually work. So, you guys just go to the very end, and then you just spread out evenly there. So, as you guys can see, I've successfully created the AT&T signal bar. So now, what I'm going to do with the signal bar here is I'm going to take it and make it look a bit more like the signal bar that everyone gets at their phones at the mystery spot. So you two on the very end, go ahead and switch places for me. You stay where you are, and then you two are going to switch places for me as well. And we'll see that now our heights have just about leveled out completely, and you guys can look left or right, and you guys can tell there's been a height change, right? Which means that you are probably feeling pretty good about yourself right here, which is why I'm sorry for what's about to happen, because I will need you two on the very ends to switch once more for me. And you'll see that as you have walked uphill, you have sadly lost that much height, and as you walk downhill, you've gained that much height. But now, I'm going to have you guys take a quick balance test. So just take your right hand and place it on your stomach. Take your left hand and place it right behind your back. And then bend to the waist, keeping your eyes on the board right here. Now everyone give them a round of applause.
Hey.
Now, with that being said, let's sit on down to our work. This is the part where a lot of people start to ask, what is the mystery behind the mystery spot? So I'll let you guys go ahead and raise your hands if you want to know. So here's the thing. My hand is raised too. If we did know the mystery behind the mystery spot, this would be called the solve spot and I'd be unemployed. Now, we do have theories. So our first theory is that directly beneath us, there's a pool of magma that is spinning in the opposite direction of the Earth's rotation, and this is causing a gravitational vortex, which is pulling us towards the Earth, causing us to lean, and could explain a few of the things we've seen. Now, our second theory is that directly beneath us, there's a crack in the fault line. Now, this crack is letting out these noxious gases. For the past 35 minutes, we've all been breathing in these gases. And for the past 35 minutes, we've all been experiencing a group hallucination. Welcome to Santa Cruz. Now, for our third and final theory, I'll ask you guys to go ahead and rub your hands together. So for this theory, we believe that an alien spaceship crash landed on the hillside. Now out of the spaceship rolled this alien. And this alien, he went and he put on a yellow shirt and some green pants and some black shoes, and he went around and he made people see things. And he made people do things like ooh and ah for a piece of wood. Or rub your hands together because the kid told you to.
You did.
But for our theories, so make sure to let us know if you have your own. And sadly, this does just about mark the end of our tour. But now, we have to the part that you guys have probably all been waiting for. The world famous mystery spot, bumper stickers.
Yay!
Sadly, this does just about mark the end of our tour. So if you guys enjoyed this tour, make sure to go home and tell your friends and family to come here and that your tour guide's name was 7. Now, if you guys hated this tour, you can go home and tell your friends and family to never come here. But in that instance, your tour guide's name was Cameron. Okay, so thank you guys come to Mystery Spot. You guys can go ahead and grab a sticker and make your way right down that path. So thank you.
That was fun. All right, boys, what'd you think?
Okay.
It was pretty trippy, huh? It throws your equilibrium off and everything.
The dog things.
What?
I did the dog thing.